Alright, we're going to walk through how to install the relay control harness. First off, remove the fuse box lid. It'll have a diagram of what circuits are what and where the locations of the circuits we may want to control. In this case, we're going to go ahead and try to take control of the starter relay, which has been identified as position 67. Remove the original relay. We're going to take the GM relay control harness, plug it in the factory starter relay socket. Then we'll take the add a fuse. We are going to find an acceptable circuit that will support the load that we're going to try to use, in which case an interlock is going to use less than 10 amps. I've already figured out which one it is. It's going to be this circuit right here. We're going to take the original fuse, plug it into the lower fuse socket. And then we're going to just plug the ADA circuit into its existing spot. Now, by doing just what we've done in the short few seconds here, we should have a battery constant power voltage. This should be switched. These two circuits right here are open, but when they're closed, it will allow the starter circuit to work. Let's go ahead and get a test light and check to see if these two circuits are going to do what they're supposed to do. Standard test light. I'm going to ground it over here at this ground point. When I touch this on here, it should light up, and it does. So that tells us we have 12 volts constant battery power. It can be used for memory for a stereo. It could be used memory for an interlock. Anything that requires unswitched, fused 12 volt power. It's right there. Got it. So it's fused down here, and then of course the circuit is fused right here with the existing factory fuse. So it's double protected, 12 volts. Now this circuit right here, right now is dead. There's nothing to it. So I'm going to try to set this up to a point where I can go in the vehicle and switch the ignition switch on, in which case the light should illuminate. So I'm going to go inside the car here and turn the key on. Key is on, light is on, demonstrating 12 volts power switched, off, on, and off again. Those two circuits are operating as they're supposed to. Good. Now, I'm going to try to start the vehicle, and it should not start because these two wires are not touching each other, not connected. It's open circuit. So there is on, crank, nothing. On, crank, nothing. So now we take these two wires, and I'm just going to push them together. Obviously we would do something more permanent in an installation, but I'm just going to try to mush these together the best we can. Now that should enable this relay. The car should start. Off, on, start. We're going to open this circuit. On. Nothing. Let's do this. Let's put this in here so we can see. On. Now, also note, the ignition is on, crank, the engine does not crank, and also the light stays illuminated, demonstrating we have power through crank. There's off. So that circuit that I chose also is providing power all the way through the cranking position, which is key if you have an interlock or an accessory like a fuel pump that requires power through crank. I've put those two wires together. Let's go ahead and hook this thing, put the probe of the test light back into the end of the wire. Key on. On. All without modifying the vehicle in any way. Thank you for watching.